Hello, Professor Toybox here along with Aladdin, and today I'm going to finish the build exercise for the Agrabah Palace dungeon. The last area we need is Jafar's Tower, which is where the player needs to go. Now, I've redesigned this area since I did the playthrough back in episode 18 because I wasn't happy with it. Initially, when I studied the animated Aladdin movie, I couldn't find a scene that gave me a good look at the layout of the tower. But I went back and reviewed the movie, and I came across this brief scene near the end of the movie after Jafar was exposed as the villain, and it shows the layout of the room. Jafar enters through the door on the left, and Iago's birdcage is above the door. There's a small circular platform in the middle of the room, with stairs that lead up to it. On either side of the circular platform, there's a raised floor, and under that floor on the right is a small tunnel. There's some kind of device sitting on the floor above the tunnel, but it's kind of hard to see. Above that is a boarded-up window, and behind the raised circular platform, you can see some pillars supporting a row of decorative archways. On the circular platform are the devices that Jafar used near the start of the movie to identify the diamond in the rough, who was the only one who could enter the Cave of Wonders. This, of course, turned out to be Aladdin. Hanging above the platform is some kind of round globe-shaped device that was spinning really fast when Jafar was weaving his spell. So this is what I'm going to try to build using the pieces that are available in the 3.0 toy box. Okay, so as we get started, we're going to be working off the main chamber, and we're going to be building off of this archway, which is the only path that we haven't built off of yet. And we're going to start with this 3x3 castle piece, and we'll come around the back side of this. And I want to orient this so that the plain wall is facing outward, and we're going to tuck this block right up here in the corner and put down 2 of them. And that'll be the wall for that side of the little corridor here. And then we're going to spin this around and drop another one right over here off of that. Just like that. And I'm going to drop down 2 more like this, and 1 like this. And then we're going to pick up this 1x3, and I'm going to use this to cover up those windows. And then we can go ahead and put some blocks in here for stairs. So in the blocks drawer, I'm going to use these stairway pieces. And we're going to need 3 of these to get up to the top, and I'm going to do it 2 wide. And then I'm going to need a square piece underneath to plug that gap, because you can see a little bit of daylight under there. Oops. So we'll put 2 of them under there like that, and another 2 under there like that, and that plugs the gap. So now we have the door coming through and the stairs coming up to the first landing. Now it's probably easiest to put the next set of stairs in while we can kind of see what we're doing before we block this all in with wall pieces. But these stairs are going to go right up here and all the way back, just like that. And again, we're going to do this 2 wide. And then to prevent the gap, I'm going to kind of tuck this under here so that it kind of looks like a continuous line of stairs. And again, 2 wide. And then we'll do the same thing down here, like that. And there's our stairs to get up to the next level. And then we'll go ahead and block this area in. So I'm going to come over and pick up the wall pieces, and I'm going to use, first of all, this 2x3, and I want to drop this in, let's see, I want to line it up just like that. Yep. And then we'll pick up the 1x3, and I'm going to drop one over here like this. And another one over here, like that. And then we're just going to frame in this room. And I think we'll use the larger block here with the plain side facing out. And this will be the start of the ceiling for the entrance tunnel. So we'll do just like that, and we'll leave the rest of this off for now so that we can kind of work in here. But this will eventually go in here like this, and we'll have another piece in there like that, and then probably the 1x3 in there to fill in the section next to the stairs. So we can actually kind of put that in here right now, and that'll help block that in a little bit. So just like this. And we don't need one down there because there's nothing to cover it up. So there we go. And now we've got solid wall coming up the sides. Okay, and then this set of stairs leads up here. Now, the layout for Jafar's tower that I've got in mind, originally this set of stairs went straight up. So if I pick this up and put it back down, and we put the next little set of stairs up here, the room that I've got in mind is going to bump up against this wall over here. And so I think that is going to be a problem. Let me just review my notes here, because I got to have this 4 wide on the 3x3s for the floor in the room. And so the first one would end up going here. The next one would end up going here. The next one here. And then we're bumping into this wall. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. And so we're going to have to turn these stairs and go up this direction. In which that means we're going to need a little landing here. So I'm going to move some of these pieces around a little bit. And let me review my note here. Yeah. So if we bring this up, and I think I would want to do that 1x3, and then this one will come up, and I'm kind of measuring that out just to see where I got to place this. So I want this to line up with the edge of that. And so now we've got stairs coming up and around the corner and up to a landing. And this way, this will be the door that Jafar came through in that picture, and I've got room now to build over in this direction. So yeah, that's going to work good. Okay, so then we can pick this one up. Kind of frame in this wall over here a little bit. That one is going to fit in there, which means I need this one. Let's see. Yeah, do it like that. Okay. And then the rest of these, we can carry this over. And we're going to lay out the floor of the room just like this. And I think we can get by with the smaller piece here, because as I recall, the width of the room... No, actually... Yeah, gotta make this wide enough. Okay, sorry. Just reviewing my notes here because I redesigned this, so I haven't really built this with it integrated into this room. All right, so then this piece here, pick it up and put it down, and we'll put one more over here. And then the next piece will be a 3x3 for the ceiling here. I think that will work. me just try something here. Thinking ahead on the ceiling. If I drop this here, and I drop this piece back over here like that, my question, oops, we're going to have a little bit more floor in here. Go ahead and put those in for right now. Okay, my question is can I clear, going up the stairs, can I clear that ceiling edge? And it looks like I can, with plenty of room to spare, so that's good. Alright, so we'll leave that there for right now. Alright, so now we have the floor for Jafar's tower, and now we'll go ahead and block in the walls. And for this, I'll come over and grab this piece here, the 1x3, and we're going to drop this around like that. And we're going to need to put down 2 of these 2x3s to fill that in. Okay, so the door that Jafar is going to come through is going to be right there. And so this piece will come in here like that. And we'll have another piece. This could probably be a single piece across here for ceiling. But we'll leave that off for right now. Alright. Now this wall is going to continue down this direction. And so we'll go ahead and just block that in. And before we block in the rest of the room, let's work on that platform. So I'm going to come down to the blocks drawer. And the first thing I want to do, there was a bit of an indent over here, so I'm going to put this block in like that. And actually, let's put down the 1x3. I think that would be better. And then we're going to put down a couple of these blocks here like this. Yeah. And then we'll come down and pick up this vaulted platform, and I think this will work perfectly over here, just like that for that little tunnel. And I need one more block in here, so let's go ahead and replace these with another 1x3, like that. That'll save a little bit of memory. Yeah. And then I'm going to scroll over here and we'll pick up these circular pieces. And I'm going to drop one here and one here. And we'll put down a square piece like this. And another couple of pieces like that. And we could probably save a little bit of memory, because we're not going to see the decorative edges here on these back pieces, really. So let's put down another 1x3. We'll do it that way, which means I'd like the bulk of the brick on the top to be facing the same direction. I think that will look better. Just like that. And then we'll scroll to the right and pick up the stairs. And since all we've got to work with are these square stairs, I think we'll just have to use those. So we'll put one in there. We'll put one in here like this. And actually, I'm going to take this piece out and bring this forward. Yeah, that's what I had before. So then we'll drop that piece like that, and we'll tuck two of these in there. Sorry about that. It's kind of tricky trying to figure out the pieces and getting them to line up right, but that's the way it's got to go. And then we'll grab a couple of 1x3s and tuck these back in here like this for the floor surface. And there's the floor for the raised platform. And now that we have that, now we can block in the rest of the walls, because I know where they need to go. And actually, let's go ahead and turn this one, because I only need one block there, and then I can put this right down the side like that. And then we can put these 3 across just like that, and it fits perfectly. So there we go. And then it was kind of a tall room, so we're going to go ahead and stack these blocks up too high, because we need room for that spherical globe that was above the raised platform there. Okay, that's looking really good. All right, let's go ahead and replace this piece with a 2x3. That will give us the ceiling and the front edge of that wall. And then we just need a smaller piece down in front of that. And we'll use a block for that. Just like that. That looks good. Now, over here on the right, we had a window that was blocked off. And so what I want to do here is I want to make room for that window. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to turn this block like that and slide this one down. So it's just like that. And then again, we'll block in the window with one of these. So that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we had some pillars on the back. And for this, I think the best piece to use, and I think it's this piece if I remember right. So we're going to drop this in here. And there's a couple of options. You have this Asgardian piece here, which is what I'm going to use. And that has kind of a little bit of an arch. It doesn't look exact. We don't really have anything that's going to look exact. So I could use that. Another piece that could work is this Fantasy Terrain Strip 1, and I'll set this out here and show you. And if we style that, we have this Lost Empire ruins. But unfortunately, this little top arch piece doesn't go all the way across. But that could work. Another option would be under the blocks drawer to put in some pillars. And there's a couple of different pillars in here. There's the color changing one. There's one over here. This guy that you could use, and then put a 1x3 across the top of that. I couldn't find a style though that I really liked, and this particular style just blends in with the wall behind it, so I don't know, I think I'm going to use that one, the Asgardian arch. And then for the globe, I looked all over for a globe device, and I couldn't really find anything I was super happy with. So I'm going to use this thing, this full dome, and I'm going to drop this down. We're going to put this right on here, and I'm going to raise it up 2 blocks and drop it right there. And for the style on this, about the only thing that I found that I'd liked, if I scroll over here to the left, and unfortunately it reset this drawer on me. I had it right where I wanted it. But it's the Jafar, or Jabba's Palace floor grate. And I'll set that to be my theme. So that kind of has a metal, or not a metal, but a, I don't know, kind of a interesting look to it. There's nothing that exactly matches what we had in the video, but this is about the closest thing I could find. And so you can use those 2 pieces together and have it kind of hovering there above that platform. So that's not too bad. All right, and then for the decorations in here, we're going to use some of the interior decorations. And so I'm going to come out up here, and we're going to go up to the Gameplay Toys drawer. And I'm going to drop down the toy box door. And while we're in this drawer, we'll scroll over to the right. And that window, well, actually, since we're right here, let's pick up this doorway as well. And this door is going to sit in here just like this, but I'm going to actually push this back just a little bit for right now. And then a little further to the right, we have this destructible wooden wall, because the window over here was boarded up, and even though these are vertical slats and not horizontal, this does fit in here pretty nicely, and I actually don't like it sitting right there, so I'm going to tuck it in like that. So that's our boarded up window. Now we'll come back over here to the toy box door and open up the properties. And for the destination, we're going to do a new toy box. This will be a new interior. And I'm actually going to reuse this. This will become the palace interior. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. Palace interior. Because I don't really need a toy box that I'm not going to use. And since I need an interior later, we'll go ahead and use that. And all the rest of that is fine. So we'll go back. And I'm going to come out over here. And I'll go through this door and I'll meet you there in just a moment. Okay, here we are in the interior toy box. And I've already taken the liberty of dropping down that boom box so I could turn off that music. So we're in here. That's the only thing I've done. And this is our first look at the interior toy box. And we'll look at this more in detail when we start creating the palace interior. But to get started, what I need to do to bring the interior toys out, and I've shown you this trick in other videos, but we're going to need a button. And I really don't like the interior because the camera just does bizarre things. And it's so difficult to use. But I'm going to tuck this button into this back corner. And now, if I try to select this button, and actually it's going to let me do that today. Sometimes you drop the first button or creativity toy you put down, it doesn't let you interact with it, which is really bizarre. Sometimes I have to put down a second button, but today it's going to behave. That's a buggy thing, this toy box interior, but alright, so we have our button, and we need a time delayer. And I'll tuck that in this corner. And on the time delayer, come into the properties, and I'm going to set the delay time to be 5 seconds. And we'll come over to the button, and we'll do a new logic connection when pressed. Come over to the time delayer, and start the delay. And on the time delayer, a new logic connection when the delay is completed. We'll invoke the toy box store to change the level. And if we look at the properties for that, it's already set to the Agrabah build toy box, which is what we were in. That's the default. But I actually want to link this to the Palace Dungeon, so we're going to change that. And I'm going to take the require confirmation off. Oops, there we go. So this door will take us back to the Palace Dungeon, no confirmation. And so I could just walk up to this and go through it, but what this allows me to do is make use of a little bug. So if we push that button and we've got the toy box drawer open when we change the level, it'll remember these drawers. And so I'm going to come up to one of these drawers that wouldn't be available in the exterior toy box, and we'll set it to be the accent and decor drawer. Okay, so we're going to come over and push this button. Kicks off the timer, and then we're going to open the toy box editor. And now with the editor open, the time delayer has kicked us back off and we're loading up the dungeon, and I'll meet you back there in just a moment. Okay, here we are back in the Palace Dungeon, and it put me back on the start pad, of course. And if I open up the toy box editor, you'll notice we're now in the interior toys drawer, because this is what was open last. And so I'm going to come into Spark mode and come back up here to Jafar's tower. And now that we've got access to the interior toys, we can go ahead and put some furniture in this room. And so there's a number of things I'm going to look for when I'm in here. I've got a list. I'm going to scroll left. And one of the first things we're going to pick up, let's see, I have to scroll a little ways to find these things because there's a lot of stuff in this drawer, is Jafar's hourglass. So that's kind of a neat little item. And I'm going to drop this right over here, I think right on top of that little crack in the floor there. Kind of cover that up a little bit. And then we're going to pick up the Cantina Band stage, and I'm going to put this up here on the top of the circular platform and center that right on those 4 blocks, because some of the items that are on top of that kind of looks a little bit like what was in the screenshot from the Aladdin movie, the equipment that Jafar was using, so I like that. And then we're going to continue going left. There's all kinds of really neat things that you have access to now, but I don't want to go too crazy with this. Let's see. There's this drink dispenser, Jabba's drink dispenser, and the device that was over here above the archway wasn't really visible, so it was kind of hard to see what it was, but this looks like it could be kind of a weird looking little device that would sit up there. So I'm going to use that for that piece. And then if we go left a little bit more, we have this book, The Darkhold. And so I'm going to use this. And we're going to put this right over here, about right there, up against the wall. Looks like something that a magician might have. You could also use this floating book if you wanted for something a little creepier. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to try to use not too many of these. Let's see. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one more item on my list. I don't think I've seen it yet. I'm looking for the Jabba's palace decoration. There it is. because that looks kind of like something that we saw in the equipment that was up here on the raised platform. And so I think we'll put that right back here like this. Let me just grab my screenshot. Actually, I had it oriented like that. So we'll go ahead and put that in there like that. And we've also got this incense burner. We can dump this up here too if we wanted. But I don't think I need that many details. But since we're here, I'll go ahead and dump it in. Okay, and then under tables and cabinets, there's three things I'm looking for here. Belle's large bookshelf, because any good sorcerer or wizard is going to have a bunch of spell books. So I'm going to put a bunch of these bookshelves over here. And we'll put the first one, well, let's see. We'll put two of them maybe like this, another one like that, and another one here in the corner like that. So that's pretty good. And if we go to the left, there's another little table. This Anyone Can Cook book with what looks like it could be kind of some wizard sorcerer tools, like maybe some alchemy tools or something. So we'll tuck that back in this corner there like that. And then under the wall hangings, there's two things I'm looking for here. First we have these snuggly duckling wall chains. And so you'll notice I can't actually sit this right on the floor. There's a little bit of a collision problem there. And same thing with the wall. But if you want to add some of these to your dungeon, in order to make it kind of look like a dungeon, we can put some out here, for example, in this room. And what you'd have to do is you'd have to temporarily just drop this here and then move that wall out of the way, move the floor down, and then you can put this where you want it to go and put it there, and then put the wall and floor pieces back. And so you can do that. And I'm actually going to leave these out, as much as I would love to put these in here. On my Wii U, I have a little bit of a lag problem once I bring the enemies in here, because all of these blocks that I'm using for the walls and the floor surfaces here and everything adds a lot of lag. And so I got to be really careful about how many of these things I put in here. So I'm actually not going to put those in, but if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to if you're on a platform that can handle that, or if you want to try it and just see what happens. The last piece I need is this birdcage. This is the only birdcage we have. And again, I have the same problem over here, that I can't put this right where I want it to be because those blocks are in the way. So for right now, I'm going to sit this out here. And this is what you'd have to do with those chains. And let me see, those are the last of the pieces I want to bring out. Because now as soon as I go into spark mode and I select one of these blocks and I move it, now I'm back in the exterior pieces. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to move this block here back just a little bit. And you'll see now when I come over here and select this and move it, I've got the Instant Fun drawer. And so I don't have access to the interior toys now. But we'll come over here and drop this now that those blocks are out of the way. And then I can put them back. And I don't have any collision problem now. So it's kind of weird, but it's what you got to do to work around some of those interior collision box issues. Then we can put this piece back. And there we go. So there, Jafar's tower looks pretty good. I'm much happier with this layout than the original. And with that, the build exercise for this toy box is finally done, except for the ceiling, which I'll put on later. Next time, we'll start working on the logic for the traps. Meanwhile, I want to thank you for watching, and thank you to all of my subscribers for your positive comments and feedback. If you're not a subscriber yet and you like what I'm doing with Disney Infinity, all you need to do is click my photo in the lower right corner of this video or the follow button on my blog, and then you won't miss a single episode. Also, I've posted the final floor plan maps for this toy box on my blog, so be sure to check those out if you want to build this toy box for yourself. Until next time, take care.